read 14 books in February, so here's a recap of everything in February. And also my hopefuls for March. Hi, my name is Kristen. This is Lee Loves Books. Welcome back to my channel where I primarily talk about indie romance books that I read on Kindle Unlimited. In the month of February, I did read 14 books, and here are the 14 books. Now let's get into it. February wasn't bad overall. It was my slowest month, or one of my slower months because I was really busy at work, but I didn't have any that I hated. I just had some that were kind of like, it didn't really like hit the mark all the way for me. It was still somewhat enjoyable, and I would probably still recommend them, and I would still continue the series that they're in. Taming Cain by Tessa Stone. This is a Black paranormal romance. It is a shifter romance, which I know I read a lot of like dark romance and contemporary romance, but I started reading romance primarily with shifter romances, paranormal, like vampires, aliens and all that stuff. I know some people think that's weird, but it is what it is. I think it's enjoyable. Something about it didn't like really like speak to me anymore because there's certain things about paranormal romances that I think no longer speak to me, and that's probably why I've shifted away from the paranormal romance sometimes. And with this one, it was more of the I want to keep her barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen type of like primal thing, and I'm just not into it anymore. So that's probably why it was a 3.75. Like not everything that I've read, nothing is lower than a 3.75. Cupid's Naughty Elf by Elena Reyes. This one was okay. I couldn't even tell you anything about it, I'm not gonna lie. Novella was like 85 pages. It's one of those like, it's to the point like, she's mine, I'm gonna make her mine type situation. It is, I think it's like a Valentine's Day. It's probably like the cover made it seem Valentine's Day, but then there was significance to Christmas because I think her birthday was on Christmas or her name was Christmas, something of the sort. I couldn't tell you anything right now, actually. Drama by A.J. Truman. This is book 2 in the South Rock High series. I started this pretty much like the last week of February. I read book 1. I did like book 1, so I continued on. Book 2, I was just kind of like, eh. Like, book 2, it's a group of nerdy friends that are high school teachers, and it seems like all of them fall in love with a jock of some sort. And this one is more of an opposite attract because it's the drama teacher with the football coach slash PE teacher, or one of the PE teachers. The drama teacher, Everett, he was nice as a side character in book 1, but in his own book, I was kind of like, you're very judgy. A little bit of a stereotypical nerd versus jock type situation. Riley, which was the coach, like he kind of fit into the stereotype of like a little bit of a dumb jock. So it wasn't like totally enjoyable for me, but I know someone else would like it. My top favorites of the month. Now, we started the month off strong, so I knew we were gonna probably be good overall. Hostile Takeover by Christina C. Jones. I did mention that one in another video for Black romance recommendation. This is a billionaire romance, enemies to lovers, forced arranged kind of marriage, but then there's also like a little bit of like a little suspense plot in terms of figuring out what the CEO slash parent of the FMC is up to. I think overall so good, and it was spicy. Probably my number 1 of the month is To Catch a Firefly by Emmy Sanders. This is a Friends to Lovers, which is not usually my jam. When there's mutual pining, I'm all over that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm all over that. And this is, we meet them as like children. They meet at 11 in their small town. It's Ellis, who is primarily our main MC, and you kind of get into his psyche really well. He is neurodivergent. I believe his autism representation in here, and he's also selective mutism. He doesn't really speak, but the people around him can communicate with him very well. He's very expressive in other ways, and I really enjoyed him. And then Lucky, which is his best friend, and Lucky has always been the type that he's leaving the town. He doesn't want to stay in a small town. That's where the conflict kind of comes from a little bit, because as they grow older, that's when Ellis starts falling in love with him, but realizes that he can't keep Lucky in his small town. Like, Lucky is meant for greater things. But Lucky has also been in love with Ellis, so he's like, I'm not, even though I'm going to be traveling the world and for his job and stuff like that, he's never going to leave Ellis. And like, two people could not be more of a soulmate than these two. I love when they finally get it together, and I love it so much, honestly. It's originally rated at 4.5, and then like a couple of days later I'm like, actually I really do like this, so I changed it to a 5. Rhythm's Blues by Kimberly Brown. That one's another favorite. This one's a little messy, I'm not gonna lie. This is a black romance. It starts off with Rhythm, her boyfriend at the time. He's a rapper and he's been acting real funny. So long story short, unbeknownst to her and unbeknownst to him, she, you know, after her breakup with her rapper boyfriend, hooks up with a producer of his newest album. Now this producer is actually really talented and really popular by his own right. He's kind of like, you know what, they have the one night stand, and then they find out how they're a person in common. Channing's like, actually I don't care, I still want you, let's continue this. The breakup happens while you're reading the book, so you can understand why she goes the way she goes, because then her ex, once he realizes that he's losing her, or has technically already lost her, he tries to win her back, and he's like, trying to like give her all the attention that he wasn't giving her prior to, so the things that she kind of wanted but not really. And you see that Channing's over here like, actually let me know what you're about to do and we'll figure it out. Royal Scoundrel. This is a novella on the Frat War series by Saxon James. This one has to be read actually last, even though it's a prequel, because it's the last book. I forgot the title, but it's his dad's in early 2000s in the same like Greek college that they were in or from, and it's so cute. It's a little angstier than I was expecting, because obviously this is in early 2000s where, being a gay man is kind of still a little bit like really taboo, and it's not really widely accepted compared to now. Last but not least, Rogue by Onnalee James. This is book 2 in the Jericho Boys series. The Jericho Boys series is a spin-off of the Necessary Evils series by Onnalee James, which I think recommended before. This is and it is it's a little bit of a dark romance. It's a little bit of codependency, and it's like murder vigilantes. They get rid of the trash in the neighborhood. I really enjoy this series. There's a little bit of like dirty talk and all that stuff that I really enjoy, and of course there's like a little bit of a suspense plot. Shiloh and Levi meet when Shiloh is forced by his brother to try to rob the convenience store that Levi works at in order to kind of get back at Jericho, because everyone knows that Levi is under his crew. And what happens is, in order to disarm him, Levi just kisses him, and they're like, oh my god. Obviously Shiloh then runs away, but then his brother instructs him, because like, he sees that, instructs him to get closer to Levi through that. I kind of like can't help. He saw the interaction with his brother outside and wants to like save him. Next time he sees is Shiloh. Shiloh basically is like the worst spy ever, because the friends in the group were kind of like, yeah, what if he's like a spy, blah blah blah. Shiloh walks in and is like, actually yeah, I am a spy. He didn't mean to blurt it out, but he's just like the sweetest like little baby that you want to just, and what ensues is basically them trying to get rid of Shiloh's brother and figure out the best way to do that, because at the same time Shiloh's brother Micah is trying to basically get dirt on the Mulvaney family, which is from Necessary Evils. These are a vigilante, but they're also a billionaire, so the vigilantes things that they do is not public knowledge, and here comes Micah trying to see if they're gonna uncover it and expose them. You know what I'm saying? So they gotta get rid of them anyways. Onnalee James's book, most of them are not on Kindle Unlimited, so these you actually have to pay for. The time they're on Kindle Unlimited is when the book first releases, so it's on there for like, I think the first like 90 days or something like that, and then it goes wide. I would recommend that. I just caveat, you have to pay for it, unfortunately, because we do not support piracy over here. That is my February reads. For the most part, March I do have some hopefuls. These are all spread out throughout the month. I think primarily it's still going to be another Black romance month for me, just like February, which I love it there, so why would I want to leave? You know what I'm saying? Magic with the Bells this month in about 2.5 weeks, so to speak. So really excited for that. I do have some special editions that are going to be coming in, so stay tuned for the unboxing. But if you watched this entire thing, thank you so much for watching. Bye!